being in Canada, we just remember it sometimes, but we just cannot practice the tradition.
Do you speak English at home or Cantonese?
I speak Cantonese, yeah. But my kids, I think they would be more fluent in English. Yes.
Was it important for you to at least teach your kids Cantonese?
It is important for us, but for them it's very difficult, right? Because they don't. They can make conversation with us in Cantonese, but they do not know the language, the Chinese language. So I mean the written language. Eh? So sometimes it's very difficult for them to retain. So when they were young, we sent them to Chinese school on Saturday. And at that time, it was quite a chore for them. It's always complaining that they have to go to school every day of the week, because Monday to Friday is the regular school, Saturday is the Chinese school, and Sunday is the Sunday school. So they were complaining about going to school every day. So I find that they didn't really learn that much on Chinese school, or they learn it, but they cannot retain it. So later on, we changed. We just say we give up, and just as long as they can speak the language. But we try to encourage them to get to know about the Chinese culture, like telling them stories about folk stories from Chinese. And so it's not as important for us that they learn the language. Rather, we want to encourage them to know what is the Chinese, some of the character and the culture of Chinese. For example, our core value in family and respect elders, and so these type of things that we try to nurture them. To me, it has changed a lot. When I came to Brampton in 1980, McLaughlin Road was a gravel road. So my neighborhood has changed a lot. I think the population has probably tripled, if I remember correctly. Now we get in the beginning, there's no traffic jam. But now I notice in a lot of major intersections, sometimes I cannot go through the intersection in two traffic lights, or sometimes even 3 traffic lights before I can get through the intersection. So to me, that is bad.
So in the future, what kind of changes would you like to see for Brampton and for Canada?
Well, I will start off with what I appreciate about Canada. What I appreciate most about Canada is people of different races live together in harmony, and I think it is very precious. So I certainly like that we can treasure for our country to continue this tradition of multiculturalism, and to really encourage people to respect their own tradition. But I've also, at the same time, I also worry about our country becomes too secular. We uphold tolerance as the ultimate. so that I worry sometimes that if we lose the spiritual foundation and of our nation was built from respecting God, honoring God, but gradually I see there is a trend of secularism taking over, so that we are doing a lot of things apart from God, or no respect for God or the Christian tradition, and it becomes anything goes, or everybody can do what is right in their own eyes. So I see there is danger there, and I would certainly encourage our nation to go back to our spiritual roots, and also not just to have all the policies based on materialistic kind of worldview.
And for Brampton?
For Brampton, well, I hope the city will continue to grow, but there should be growth under a very well planned manner. I think our city have a lot of parks and a lot of community service. So I certainly hope that our city council, our community leader would continue to do the good work, developing the city in a well thought and well planned manner. Okay, well, I have two children. My daughter Winnie, and she is at the final year of becoming a dentist. My son Gabriel, he just entered the University of Waterloo. My hope for my children is that they can be God-fearing person who live with integrity and contribute to, as a person, and also to become a responsible person and contribute to society. In general, I look at our young people. My advice to the younger generation would be to treasure what we have, as Canadians, is to treasure our own cultural tradition and respect one another, and to contribute in the community. I always encourage my children to, do service, serve other people, because in serving you are closer to the meaning of life. I worry about what is in the pop culture. You just just do it, or just if you feels good, just do it, and just enjoy life, and just grab whatever you can. I think that is very based on very self-serving motivation and based on a very secular view. I really encourage our younger generation to go back with a spiritual root, to treasure where your race, your culture, your religions have treasured some of the core value, and also to serve in your community. I feel that we live in an age where in internet, emails, and web surfing, you can communicate with everybody in the world at home in the basement, but you really don't build up real community. I find that is you have the unheard of communications technology, but people don't talk to one another in person, which I think I feel kind of sad. So as a pastor, I always encourage people, talk to people face to face. Use your life to help other people, to build up one another.